Hello everybody and welcome to TradeStation's Market Review. My name's Simon Clarke from Trade with Precision, and I'll be discussing some of the key markets of interest right now. Now, of course, the big news in the markets at the moment is all around the euro and the Greek referendum. If we come and take a look at the euro dollar to see how that's affected some of the key euro markets here, we can see on the daily chart here that the market did actually gap down something like around sort of 1%, but since then the market's rallied back up to close that gap. If we take a look at the 4-hour chart, we can see this in a little bit more detail. So we can see the market opening up here around the key level of 1.1000, rallied back up to close that gap, which also happens to be around a key level of support and resistance as well. So the gap's not quite as big as it was last week, but nevertheless it's just sort of making these charts looks a little bit more messy and a little bit more, for me, more riskier to trade. So any sort of trading opportunities on euro markets, I'm going to be looking for more for shorter term intraday trading opportunities rather than sort of longer term position trades. In fact, last week I was speaking about euro GDP. This one I prefer. This is one of my preferred euro markets. I just like the trend here on these higher time frames. Monthly chart, weekly chart looking nice and clean in direction, and we've got this key level of support and resistance here. That's the sort of 0.71200 area. We can see this here on the daily chart. Been's key support and resistance in the markets, and the markets just pulled back to that area right now. However, when we start to come down to the lower time frames and come down to the 1-hour chart, last week we were looking at this market gap here where the market gapped down quite significantly. The market rallied back up to this area, and we started to get a bit of a move down, but in actual fact since then the market's been pretty much sort of sideways. For me, I want to see this this level be rejected. I want to see the downtrend form here in price again before I start looking for intraday trading opportunities here on euro GDP. It is one of my sort of preferred markets, looking for euro weakness against a stronger pound. One of the other markets that we were looking at was the US stock market. So when looking at the US stock market, let's go and take a look at the mini Dow future. Now again, we've also had a big gap in the markets. The markets have opened up significantly lower than they did or than they closed on Friday night. We can see here on the daily charts that the market, even though when it's opening up around sort of key levels. If I open this level up market up here, this is the daily chart. I've got another level that I could put in just around here. We can see that we've got that's 17,400, where there's been previous support before, previous support today, where we can see the market opened up at 17,400. It's rallied back up towards 17,500, which is the previous level of support and resistance we had in the market. Whether it's going to close the gap or not, I've no idea. In actual fact, we saw this last week. In fact, the market didn't manage to close the gap. It rallied back up to key support and resistance structures before starting to roll over again. Coming down to the lower time frames here, for me, looking at these support and resistance structures here on 4-hour charts and lower, this just starts to look more for presenting trading opportunities intraday. So for me, again, not looking at getting any position trades here on these markets, but intraday trading opportunities off these levels I'm quite keen on. So I'll be looking around some of these levels for opportunities, but I want to see some sort of trend structure forming as well at the moment. We don't really seem to have this at the moment. We've got a rising bullish momentum here, but whether it comes up to 17,600 to close the gap, we just have to wait and see how this sort of plays out. Now, some of the markets that I looked at last week which weren't involving the currencies were platinum. And if we take a look at platinum, The reason being is platinum was in a lovely downtrend here across all of these higher time frames. We spoke about the monthly, the weekly, and the daily, in actual fact, also around these key levels here. So we had a couple of levels in the market. This 10 or 1090 level here on the daily chart, where the market had found support and resistance before. In fact, we can see what happened last week. The market came back up, it sort of tested this level, found resistance here, and now since then the market sort of sold off quite heavily, and it's just sold off that level. So again, coming down to the 4-hour chart, we can see exactly what sort of happened here, and the market's, well, since the Greek news, actually, the market sort of tested this level and again started to sell off quite hard as well. So again, platinum, nice market for looking for shorting opportunities on some of these lower time frames. We can see up here moving averages all in the right order now. Nice agreement with our indicators as well. So again, starting to look for opportunities short on platinum. Now, if we come and take a look at one of the other commodities at the moment, and that's soybean meal. Now, soybeans and soybean meal have been moving very, very fast over the past sort of few days and few weeks. We can see that here on these higher time frames. We've had some very, very bullish momentum in the markets. In fact, we've started to get a bit of a pullback here in price. And if I come down to the lower time frames here, you can start to see what I'm looking at. If I come down to the 4-hour chart, we can see that we've had a very nice, well-structured and well-balanced trend here. Every time the market comes back into the buy zone in between the 10 and the 20 period moving average here, we can see that we've had trend flow trading opportunities. That's the one of the trading strategies that we teach through the Trader's Edge education program here. We can see that we've had those opportunities occurring every time. Nice small bullish candles here in the buy zone before big moves in price. At the moment, the market's just retraced back into the buy zone. Nice small bullish candle sitting there right in the buy zone. So on soybean meal, looking for opportunities long as this trend continues. Okay, so let me just tell you a little bit more about the Trader's Edge education program, because if we come across here to the TradeStation International website, you come across here to the webinars tab, and then over to live webinars, we can scroll down and we can see the next webinar that we're running here is the first part of the Trader's Edge program. So if we open this up, this is on Tuesday evening. It's a 2-hour program. It's run from 7:30 till 9:30, and we can find out more information about this. In this part, this is the first part of the program, and this is open to all to join. It's completely free of charge. All you need to do is to fill in your information here to be able to subscribe and register for the webinar. Okay. Thank you very much for listening. Hope it's been of use, and I look forward to speaking to you on the webinar tomorrow evening. Bye for now.